3 races remain in the 2020 Champ Car season. So as to prepare for the race here in Road America, pressure and tension are at an all-time high. A lap around Road America is just over 4 miles. It's the longest racetrack on the calendar, one of the longest racetracks in the world. 14 corners make up this just over 4-mile racetrack. 10 to the right, only 4 to the left. An elevation change is very prominent here, as you can tell, just behind the starting grid, leading up to the start-finish line. Andrew Draco comes into Wisconsin with a 50-point lead, the same gap he entered New Hampshire with. Stephanie Porter-Kelly sits in second place, 50 points back. She finished just 1 place behind him in New Hampshire. She needs to finish ahead of him here, and she's right behind him on the grid today. Sakura Shibashi leaped into third place in the standings, but she's still 78 points back. She needs to gain a lot of points and fast, and she needs to do it from 10th position today. Both of them will have to pass Draco and put distance between them. He needs to have an abysmal start and be mired in traffic for them to make anything happen going into Indianapolis in 2 weeks' time. The weather today, aside from the wind, is nearly perfect. Sun is out, sun is shining. 70 degrees is the air temperature. It's less than 100 degrees on the track temperature right now. 98 degrees is what the asphalt feels like right now. But the wind blowing from the west, at about 10 miles an hour. That'll be extremely relevant as these drivers reach the peaks of the track, especially in turns 1 and turn 7. Christina Espinoza scored her second pole of the season. She's approaching 40 pole positions in her career. She beat Nicole Lechty by 4/100ths of a second in Q2. So Lechty will be on the outside of row number 1. Row 2, it's an all-Kiwi row 2. Hazel DeCass back in her ways in qualifying, starting at third. And Ronald Walker, a very stunning 4th place qualifying result, his best qualifying result of his career, right on the heels of Apex's double podium last time out in New Hampshire. Row 3 features the championship leader, Andrew Draco. He was fastest in Q1, but starts 5th alongside Keisha Fox. Stephanie Porter-Kelly starts inside row 4, right behind her championship rival, Andrew Draco. She starts 7th. Kaylee Zappa starts on the outside in 8th place. Row 5 is the stepsister row. It's Kuni Kinoshita sitting in 9th. Sakura Shibashi, we talked about, sitting in 10th. And the last of the Q2 qualifiers make up row 6, with Cameron Jackson beating David Wessel to the punch to fill out that row. The first of the people that missed Q2 starts with Ray Taylor and Cody Blackman. That is row 7, while Striker Motorsports teammates Natalia Kurachenko and Lucian Lachapelle make up row 8. Row 9 is where you'll find the slowest of the Alpine cars. Siri Lundquist outqualified Tyler Parker for that one, so Parker will start in 18th position. Gerard Perth and the New Hampshire race winner, Brad Neri, make up row 10. Abysmal qualifying for Brad Neri, but the team showed that they've recently been able to have some fight, so look for them to possibly make up some positions once we get going here. Isabel Espinoza, an abysmal qualifying performance for her, and Esther Hofson sit in row 11. Jace Clark and Patrick Marcelli sit in row 12, while Mildred Moon and Simona Leroux for the first time rounds out the back of the grid today. 50 laps, that's what'll be on offer here in Elkhart Lake. It's the Wells Fargo Grand Prix of Wisconsin. There's been some very memorable moments here. We've seen a lot of twists and turns here throughout the years. What is the 2020 edition going to bring us? We are moments away from finding out, so we'll send it trackside for those most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines!
And there you have it, 26. Beginning to fire their cars to go on that all-important formation lap. Here we go. Cameron Jackson, he's got a stall. Cameron Jackson having issues on the grid, so he's not going to be able to join these guys on the formation lap. So he's going to have to start from the pit lane. See the black wall tires on these Champ Car machines. That is the Prime tire. It is slower, but more durable. So that means pit stops will be at a minimum, but tire management will be at a premium. You see as the field comes downhill from turns 3 to turn 4, they're approaching what will be one of the hardest braking zones on the entire track, turn 4. Expect a lot of drivers to have issues braking, especially early on, as they try to navigate traffic and try to settle into a groove. That will be paramount to a driver's success today. Around turns 4, you see the runoff there, you see the gravel awaiting anyone that messes up there. It's back up the hill, turn 5. Talk about turns 5, 6, and 7. This will be very important. This complex can make or break an entire lap time here. Saw Cameron Jackson stall on the grid. One of the benefits of stalling on the grid is this pace lap's long enough, you won't lose too awful much time. However, with Cameron Jackson slated to start in 11th position, that's going to be a massive drop that he's going to have to try to work his way back from. And this track can be notoriously difficult to do that with. For Christina Espinosa, it is pole position number 37 in her career. She's 3 away from 40. And 4 away from the all-time record. Rita Leckie has 41 pole positions in her career. Back when she raced up until 2012. Christina Espinosa aiming for that one record that the Espinosa family does not have. See them coming through the forest out of Canada Corner. Canada Corner is one of the most challenging corners of this track. It's supposed to be taken flat out. It's a test of skill, a test of bravery for sure. I said Canada Corner is supposed to be taken flat out. No, that's the kink that's taken flat out. Canada Corner is what they just went through. That's not a flat out corner at all. Looking at the wrong map there. But here we are coming around turn 14. The Camaro pace car will pull off. You see where the pit lane starts off to the right. Pace car will pull off. But the start zone isn't until all the way up the hill. See as everyone stacks up a little bit, trying to get a little bit of heat into the rear tires there. Under the gantry at the top of the hill. And we are green at Road America. Brad Neri already taking it 3 wide in the back. But it's still side by side between Leckie and Christine Espinosa. Espinosa's going to edge ahead and clear Leckie. Leckie's going to take second and keep it. Still side by side, it is Lacasse and Walker. Walker's got the run. Keisha Fox is going to take a run as well. Andrew Draco dropping 2 positions on the go. And after that, it's side by side. And Draco messed up the braking. Pushes Porticelli into the grass. Kenosha's in the sand. And there's a car up on its side. That is David Wessel upside down on the roll bar. They're going to try to get that one fixed. The great thing about Road America being so wide is that they can try to address that situation before the cars come back around. It's a 2-minute lap. They did pull Wessel out. That's Hofston that lost time. Kenosha lost time due to hitting the sand. Brad Neri lost time. So calamity does happen on the opening lap. Draco had it rough, but his rivals also had it pretty rough. Sakura Shibashi and especially Steffi Porticelli losing massive time. Draco squeezing Porticelli into the gravel there as they went 3 wide. So it'll be Christina Espinoza leading the first lap. It's going to be side by side for third, though. Keisha Fox will take it away. Keisha Fox will take it away, and Hazel Lacasse is in a deep battle with Walker, Zappa, and Fox. Hearing reports that Draco actually got hit under braking. Wonder if that happened because of Porticelli, or if Draco locked it up and got hit afterwards. But either way, a very big braking mishap for Andrew Draco. Nearly cost him the race on lap 1. Keisha Fox moves into the podium places, and Ray Taylor trying to take a place away from the championship leader right now. Ray Taylor will do so, and Sakura Shibashi, importantly, trying to do the same. Draco with an amazing run out of the corner. And that was Ishibashi almost spun by LaChapelle. So they're still battling wheel to wheel, wing to gearbox. Going through the carousel now. As they try to go through the kink, Ray Taylor having to kind of recollect himself. Almost cleared Draco. And then turn 7 called. And Ishibashi almost had her race ruined. Have to look out to make sure that Ishibashi doesn't suffer a blown tire as a result of that contact with LaChapelle's front wing. So Draco's slowly driving places. He started 5th. He's down to 7th. As they chase up the hill, Kaylee Zappa's going to try to make a move on Ronald Walker now to move him down to 5th. What a crazy opening few laps. Mildred Moon's already made up several positions. Started 25th and up to 15th. Gained 10 positions on the go by lap 2. That is insanity. 10 positions gained for Mildred Moon. Simona LaRose started last. She's up to 20th. And Cameron Jackson did not take the start, so whatever the issue is, he is in the garage. He will not start the day. And this is a battle in midfield, and that's Ronald Walker dropping places left, right, and center. Ronald Walker's got an electrical issue of some kind, because he is losing a lot. So Cameron Jackson fails to start, so he scores no points today. Brad Neri's having issues. And they're still trying to figure out if they can fix David Wessel's car. Meanwhile, Christina Espinoza has the best seat in the house, leading this race. Andrew Draco makes it back up to 5th, so hard charging now after a crazy opening 3 laps. Draco's now back where he started. Porter Kelly sitting in 10th position. Lost spots on that opening lap, but she's gotten past Ray Taylor and Taya Kurchenko trying to do the same, so Trek and Motorsports recollecting themselves despite having a horrific start. 3 of them are almost all 3 in the top 10. Patrick Marcelli, Mildred Moon, both of them gained massive positions on that opening lap. Siri Lundquist gained positions as well. She started down in 17th position. She's now sitting in 15th, so gains for her. Mildred Moon's still gaining 11 positions since lap 1 for Mildred Moon. Cody Blackman's lost positions. He started in 14th. He's down to 60. Simona LaRose gained positions as well. Started last, has gained 9. Tyler Parker's lost positions. Kimitsu Kenosha's lost positions. David Wessel, despite being upside down, is now still rolling. So whatever the issue is, they have fixed it. Ronald Walker made it to pit lane. Now they're trying to diagnose his issues. Is it terminal? Is his race over after starting a promising 4th place? By the way, a reminder to everyone that we're only on lap 4. What a start of this race. Jace Clark is out with an engine failure, so Mercedes is having a massive set of issues. Would place massive concerns on the 2nd place car there of Nicole Lechty. With how this race is going, David Wessel's out there mostly just to roll around. Not sure what all damage was done with that car being upside down on the roll bar. But Champ Car officials have deemed that it is capable of resuming competition. So we've had a failure to start. We have an early retirement with Jace Clark, possibly another one with Ronald Walker. There's Ronald Walker. He's back out now. So whatever the issue is, they're hoping they got it fixed. Meanwhile, it's Christina Espinoza, Nicole Lechty, Keisha Fox looking for her 3rd podium of the year, and Hazel Lacasse keeping herself in striking distance after surviving all the carnage early on that happened just behind her. Kaylee Zappa's gotten past Andrew Draco once more, and Sakura Shibashi is catching back up to the championship leader. So Andrew Draco is right now in survival mode. This will be a rough race for the 2017 World Champion. The target is on his back more than ever before. So this is a look at how the championship standings look right now. Draco would pull on both Ishibashi and Porticelli. Those are the 2 closest to him in the title fight. All 3 still sitting in the top 10. Draco got past Kaylee Zappa. Ishibashi looked very keen to do the same thing. Zappa misses her braking. That was turn 3. And that lines up Sakura Ishibashi to try to make a pass through turn 4 under the bridge, turn 5 down the hill. And you see side by side battling there between teammates. That's Lachapelle on the inside of Porticelli. Porticelli's got the preferred line going up the hill to turn 6 here. And Porticelli will maintain 9th place. That is for 9th, so Porticelli moves up a spot. See Ray Taylor sitting in 8th, Sakura Ishibashi in 7th. Then it's Kaylee Zappa and Andrew Draco. Draco sitting in that coveted 5th spot. And the gap between Draco and Hazel Lacasse is insane. Lacasse visibly confused and audibly confused on the radio snippets that we've been receiving. But right now, all that's behind her. Her eyes are focused on fellow Alpine-powered car, Keisha Fox. 2 rookies here, showing a lot of potential here in Champ Car. We know the cast has got a full-time future. She signed a full-time deal for Team Impulse next year. Keisha Fox is returning to the 62 next year. So, the French manufacturer have a couple of really stable hands driving their cars going into 2021. You see, Kurachenko did get past Gerard Perth. That puts her up in 11th. Mildred Moon is up to 12th, started 25th, and has charged up to 12th place. Crazy what Mildred Moon has done. And that is that's 13th place, excuse me. But she has gained 12 spots since this race has started. If Mildred Moon holds that pace, she could easily make it to the top 5. And you see Patrick Marcelli 14th, Siri Lundquist 15th. Calmed it down a bit near the back of the grid. Cody Blackman down to 16th, Simona Leroux up to 17th, and it's Kuni Kinoshita falling down the order after starting in 9th position. Isabel Spinoza couldn't benefit from any of that. Tyler Parker lost positions after being forced into the grass. That is Esther Hofson sitting in 21st. 22nd is Brad Neri. 23rd, first one lap down, is Ronald Walker. And then you have David Wessel, who's 2 laps down and kind of at this point just trying to see who all fails to finish before he does. And then, as we mentioned before, Cameron Jackson failing to start this race. First DNS we've received all season long. But unfortunately, as it is the DNS, that means he does not score points at all. So, very disappointing for Cameron Jackson after the season he's had, where he showed a lot of progress and potential. Ronald Walker's still having some issues. He is severely lacking pace. But all the leaders got by him just fine. Now it's up to Andrew Draco to do the same, otherwise risk losing positions to Kaylee Zappa and his championship rivals, who are now sitting 7th and 8th on the table. So how is Andrew Draco going to handle all of this? Going down through the kink out of carousel. The kink's up here. So yeah, it steps up just a little bit for Draco. But now here they go, winding through the forest into Canada corner. Turn 12. Draco trying to make something happen with Ronald Walker. Trying not to lose too awful much time. He'll do so. But it doesn't help him enough. He didn't have as much time given to him ahead of his rivals. His rivals are about to duke it out, though. Porter Kelly is right on the gearbox of Sakura Shibashi, and Kaylee Zapp is about to hound him as well. It is dog-eat-dog world right now here in Road America. Kaylee Zappa continues to take a wide line to turn 3. Keeping an eye on Ishibashi. She's in the middle of this 5-car train, and it is chaos near the top 10 here. That is Mildred Moon, is trying to sleep her way into the top 10. And Striker's trying to put up a little bit of a wall here. LM Competition and Striker Motorsports are having a massive duel within the Mercedes camp. We know that Striker is going to Chevrolet in 2021. But this duel between the two Mercedes super teams is super engaging. Gerard Perth almost crashed with Ronald Walker going through that kink, so he lost a serious amount of time. Super aggressive move trying to make the pass happen in the kink, and unfortunately it didn't pan out, so now he's lost the rest of the lead group. But yeah, you see he pulls off to the side and he's going to pull away, knowing that Ronald Walker has a serious power deficit. Suri Lundqvist up next, trying to get past Ronald Walker, and she's going to do so before they get to turn 1. That's the job done for Suri Lundqvist, but now we look back up to the top 10. And Draco's still getting hassled by Kaylee Zappa. Zappa's looking to the inside, going down the hill. That's a squeeze. Side by side there. And Kelly Zappa trying to make the most of her time in Cat Devil Racing before she moves to Swift Autosport. 50 car sitting in 22nd place. Bagnari was stuck behind all the chaos. Couldn't really make up the ground that others were able to make up. He was just not in the position to do so. Kelly Zappa, however, was able to make the most of it, and she's been hounding the championship leader ever since. For Draco, it's all about damage control right now. His championship rivals are right in his mirror. It's where he wants them to be. However, we haven't even had the first round of pit stops yet. And Phantom Motors have had some of the worst pit stops of the season. So this will be an interesting game of chess when we get to it. But here's the race leader. Christina Espinoza coming around turns 1 through turns 1, 2, and 3. See some different camera angles here. She has not been challenged so far. Nicole Lecky's in her own race. Keisha Fox in her own race. And Hazel DeCass in her own race. None of the top 4 have been challenged at all this race in the slightest. We are a tenth of the way through. We are a fifth of the way through this. See, going up the hill here. Now back down the hill as they get ready to head towards the carousel. Some amazing looks as they go through turn 7. See Esther Hobson, you see Ronald Walker falling down. See, there's Brad Neri, the last car on the lead lap. It has been a very interesting start of this race. But it's interesting looking at the gaps as they stand. 2.5 seconds between first and second. Almost 4 seconds between second and third. And then over a second, almost a second and a half between third and fourth. And then it drops 3 seconds plus between Hazel DeCass in fourth and Andrew Draco in fifth. So the top four have themselves sorted out. That's a pretty good start of the race so far for them. But then you get the Draco, and it's under a blanket. And that's why Kaylee Zappa's gotten past Andrew Draco. That is 4-5. That puts Draco right in the firing range of his championship rival. Stephanie Porter-Kelly looking for her third IndyCar world title. Draco looking for his second world title. Both two of them the oldest of the drivers on the grid. Porter-Kelly, 33. Spent several years in Formula One, became a Formula One world champion in 2014. It's going to be an interesting little fight. Team Impulse need a fantastic set of pit stops all the way around because the cast needs to leapfrog Keisha Fox. But Sakura Shibashi needs to leapfrog both Draco and Porter-Kelly. We talked about age, we talked about Porter-Kelly being 33. Andrew Draco sits at 35 years old. So they are the guard. They are the veteran guard of Champ Car. Anyway, Kaylee Zappa, she's 26. The cast is 23. Fox is 25. Nicole Leckie, 28. Christina Espinoza, leading this race, is also 33. This is a place where you either love this track or you have the most experience at it to be successful. Ishibashi's 27. We're keeping an eye on Kaylee Zappa as she starts to try to walk away from Andrew Draco here. An even gap between the championship contenders. And it's in that order. Draco is the championship leader. And he sits in 6th position. 7th is Porter-Kelly. She's 2nd in the championship. And then Sakura Shibashi is 3rd in the championship standings and currently running 8th. So we're keeping an eye on this championship battle. It is a 4-second gap between Christina Espinoza and Nicole Leckie. Leckie is starting to drop at a pretty incredible rate. Keisha Fox sitting almost 8 seconds back. Hazel Lacasse is starting to try to pounce here. That's the gap between third and fourth. Lacasse wants a podium here. She took the pole, led the most laps, won at Toronto, but it's been a very up and down debut season for Lacasse. The team is hoping that with her becoming a full-time driver in 2021, that the experience she's getting at these racetracks will help her try to challenge for more race wins in 2021 and hopefully try to challenge for an IndyCar world title. Her arrival in Champ Car is hot on the heels of the departure of Jamie Marie Jardine, who spent 3 years consistently challenging at the top of the table. Now it's between Hazel Lacasse and Ronald Walker, and Lacasse has shown a lot more upside from the New Zealand camp. A little bit of a gap extension there from Keisha Fox. And Kelly Zappa is starting to pull away. She's starting to try to charge after Lacasse here, trying to make it a 3-horse race. We are on lap 15 of 50, and it seems like we've already gone through a full race distance. For some drivers, they probably wish it was the full race distance. Mildred Moon has made it up to the top 10, so Strecker Motorsports duo of Lucian Lachapelle and Natalia Kurachenko have slipped behind Elm competition cars there. So Lacasse trying to make the most happen here. Trying to keep Kaylee Zappa at bay. Trying to leapfrog over Keisha Fox. But right now, put on cruise control for Christina Espinoza. The most experienced after Steffi Porter-Kelly at Road America. And she is running away. 5.3 is the gap between first and second. It is absolutely crazy. But what about Mildred Moon? Incredible start from 25th on the grid. And she's challenging. She is genuinely challenging, trying to get through 9th and trying to really chase down the championship leaders here. What a run for her. Draco, Porter-Kelly, Nishibashi still holding 6th, 7th, and 8th. You'd have to imagine that they might be holding station, hoping that the pit stops will change things up. The first time a harder compound has been used at Road America in quite some time. Years past, they would bring a softer compound because it is an abrasive surface, so it create more interesting strategies. But this is pretty straightforward. Lily, it's just run till the fuel goes. Porter-Kelly is getting super close. She's pulling out to the left, or pulling out to the right, our left. She gonna try to go for it into turn 1? She will. Mercedes versus Honda power. It was ill-timed. Not enough run to try to make it happen. But that means that coming out of turns 3, she might try to make another go for it. "13 might be holding on, and there might be some diffuser damage on the back of that 13 car. If that car is wounded, then Porter Kelly and Ishibashi need to pounce. The top of the championship is Honda, Mercedes, Alpine. It is time for them to move if that is the case. And if it is the case, then Draco's doing an amazing job just to hold it in 6th place. But Draco's running wide. That is a car that is not planted. That's not a line you normally run. Looks like that front wing on Porter Kelly on the left side. Looks like that's a little bit damaged. That's definitely not balanced, at least. It looks damaged on Porter Kelly's end. So that looks like that lap 1 contact might have been between Porter Kelly and Draco, and that might have a say in how this race goes when this pit stop happens. That means that they might have to repair some damage. And Porter Kelly's going to have another run here. Draco, because the car is not planted at the rear, and he is wiggling down the front straightaway, Porter Kelly will clear. So with a damaged front wing, Porter Kelly clears. So now Draco falls to the clutches of Sakura Ishibashi, who needs to make a run. This is the race that these two need to try to close the gap on Andrew Draco, give it a bit more of a challenge as we go into Indianapolis in 2 weeks. Indianapolis is the last race where you can really use skill to try to leverage yourself in the championship fight. After that, it's Fontana, and that's very much a pack racing affair. That is a race where it's the last race of the Triple Crown, so 33 cars will be there. And just about everyone will have a chance. Would love to hear what Porter Kelly and Draco's radio was on that opening lap, especially what it is now that Draco's rear tires are burnt. Because that car is starting to dance. And it's not a happy little dance either. That is a dance of a car that is about to lose itself. So Phantom Motors have 2 wounded cars running around. One's trying desperately to hold on to the championship lead. But that gap, I have a strong feeling that gap's about to shrink. Draco's going to try to pull it back. But Mercedes power. Mercedes power means so much. Mercedes has the best top end of all 3 engines. And we're looking at all 3 engines in this frame. But Sakura Ishibashi's biting at the bit because Porter Kelly has no front end grip. So Draco's got no rear end. Porter Kelly's got no front end. Sakura Ishibashi's sitting there. She's just struggling in the dirty air. But now the tires begin to matter. And Ishibashi's got the best tire rate, and there she's going. She's making a move on Draco. So Ishibashi's going to try to send it going into turn 5. And they're still side by side out of it. Turn 6 up the hill. Draco's got the run going into turn 7 now. So he'll stay ahead, but it's a matter of time. When someone starts to make an attempt, you know that the tide is coming. Mildred Moon's past Ray Taylor, so Mildred Moon's up to 9th. Mildred Moon very well could end up fighting her way into the podium places by the time this race is over. We still have 32 laps to go. And it is Christina Espinoza waltzing away from Nicole Lectie and everybody else. But here's the battle for 3rd. 2 Alpines and a Honda. Kaylee Zappa taking care of her tires, trying to make something happen. She's gotten past Lacasse, but Lacasse stays right on the gearbox. This is 3rd, 4th, and 5th in your screen. Nicole Lectie going up the hill. That is Lacasse trying to take 4th back. Honda versus Alpine. Who's got the best power? Most teams believe that Alpine and Honda are relatively even as far as power goes. It's just all about the grip. Zappa had the line that time, but Lacasse still sold it side by side out of turn 1. Now Lacasse will slide in behind, and that's 4th and 5th sorted, but that gives Keisha Fox a little bit more time. Further back, Sakura Shibashi definitely had to check up out of turn 6, and that's cost her time. So, Draco sits 7th. As it stands, he loses 2 points to Porter Kelly, which puts them 48 points apart. And that is Ray Taylor struggling under pressure behind. That is 4/10. That is Natalia Kurachenko trying to make a move to the inside. Ray Taylor will use the outside line to defend. So LM Competition, Striker Motorsports still battling tooth and nail in the Mercedes camp. Then you have Siri Lundqvist sitting in 14th. Simona LaRose started last, has moved up to 15th place. Patrick Marcelli 16th. Isabel Espinoza, the second Aguirre car, sitting 17th. Cody Blackman's down to 18th after starting 14th. Then it's Kidney Kanosta, who's not been able to make up ground after being forced wide in turn 1. Not turn 1, turn 4, lap 1. Tyler Parker also losing ground. Started 18th, lap down to 20th. Esther Hofston 21st. Brad Neri 22nd. That's David Wessel 2 laps down. Brad Neri's last car on the lead lap. He's gotten past Ronald Walker, who is 1 lap down after starting in 4th place. Abysmal race for him after having engine issues and still ongoing engine issues. There's the race leader, Christine Espinoza, trying to get another trophy from Road America here before we head to Indianapolis for a road course race. And that is... So, it looks like Nicole Leckie might have come into pit lane because this is now 2nd. So now pit stops are happening. Let's see if we can find where Nicole Leckie's at. That is Nicole Leckie coming out of pit lane now. Or that's actually, she's still coming in pit lane, I believe. Yeah, she's still coming in pit lane. So now we'll keep an eye on the championship, on the race leader right now. See if she comes into pit lane soon. Because that might be an undercut maneuver trying to force a reaction from Christina Espinoza. Tires will at this point be well past their expiration date. Are we seeing a strategic move here by the Black Rose Racing camp to try to get Nicole Leckie closer to the race lead? Up through Canada Corner, through turns 13 here, before coming around the final corner to end the lap. A very long lap, 1 minute 50. Christina Espinoza stays out this time. And it's 12 seconds back to now 2nd place Keisha Fox. Does Keisha Fox come in? Fox does come in. The pit window has opened. Porter Kelly's coming in, and so is Andrew Draco, and they've got damage to repair. And with that, Sakura Shibashi's taking the risk. She'll stay out 1 more lap. And she's got to defend from Mildred Moon, who is on a roll. She's on the best tires of the field right now, despite starting in 25th. So Mildred Moon, for the moment, is up to 5th place. This is a roller coaster ride so far, and it just does not stop. So a lot of drivers busy on pit lane. Keisha Fox pulls out. Porter Kelly gets out of the way. And they are still working on Draco's car. Draco's on hold in pit lane. He's going to lose ground. He's losing a lot of ground. Outside the top 10 goes Andrew Draco. Draco comes out well after. Comes out after Isabel Espinoza. So that damage needs to be repaired, and that opens this championship wide open. Porter Kelly retained her position through pit lane. Draco now sitting relatively, based on where Isabel Espinosa was at, sitting outside the top 15, sitting closer to 17th or 18th place. Meanwhile, there's Christina Espinosa coming in the pit lane now on lap 22. Does anyone stay out here? No, they do not. The top 3 come in. They've spent their tires' usefulness. Sakura Shibashi now has the ability to gain as much ground as possible, knowing that both her championship rivals have had to have damage repaired. That does wonders for Ishibashi. That does wonders for Porter Kelly, who can absolutely shrink this closed. Pit stop's going to need to be perfect for Lacasse and for Ishibashi, and there's the left of the holdouts. Obviously, David Wessel 2 laps down. He's off sequence and sort of irrelevant at this stage in time. There is Keisha Fox. Where does she cycle out compared to everyone else? Because she was sitting in 3rd position at the time. So we'll figure out where she ends up being. There's Lacasse. There's Kelly Zappa, and that is a flyby if we've ever seen one. So Lacasse with a little bit slower to the pit stop, but Lacasse does have the pace to catch it back up. That is Stephanie Porter Kelly with a repaired front wing. Then it's Mildred Moon. Sakura Shibashi with the slow pit stop. So adjustments have had to have been made to the Impulse cars to try to get them better grip. So not all is lost for the Impulse cars here. Adjustments can be made to the front wing, they just take extra time. And if Lacasse was having trouble dealing with Keisha Fox and Kaylee Zappa, as it appears that she was doing, adding a little bit of front wing, adding a bit of rear wing, might do wonders. So we'll see, we'll keep an eye on where Lacasse ends up being and how much she tries to gain that gap back. But there's Sakura Ishibashi sitting well ahead of Andrew Draco, who has a lot of work to do. And he's sitting behind Patrick Marcelli, he's sitting behind Isabel Espinosa, and Espinosa is not going to give him room. Pinched him off through the kink. And now they're side by side once again going into Canada corner, so Draco's just got to hold off and wait. There's contact there between Marcelli and Draco. So this has gone all wrong for Andrew Draco. At a moment where, this time 3 years ago, 2017, he was coming in clutch. That is not the case anymore. Draco's watching points slip through his fingers. Mildred Moon sits 6th, so both Black Rose cars are out of this race for engine issues. We were wondering where Lecty had gone, and it's to the garage and out of this race. Both Black Rose cars out with engine problems. So we're down to 23 cars running, 21 in the lead lap, Brad Neri being the last of those on the lead lap. Andrew Draco sits down in 14th position. Porter Kelly sits in 5th. As it stands, that is a 14-point swing in Porter Kelly's direction. That moves the gap down below 40 points, 36-point gap with 2 races to go. Coming to 2 tracks that Porter Kelly has massive experience at, 2 tracks that Draco's never won at. 1 track that Draco's never even driven at. Porter Kelly has. U.S. Grand Prix. He used the Indianapolis road course before moving to the Circuit of the Americas. Porter Kelly has experience at that track on that configuration. That gives her the ultimate advantage with just 2 races left after this. And she's trying to challenge, and she slides wide. Massive time loss under braking. Porter Kelly trying so hard to get past Hazel Lacasse. Lacasse still sits 4th, so she didn't lose any positions, and she and Porter Kelly are both gaining. And that is an issue with Christina Espinoza. Keisha Fox has gained the lead of this race. There's issues, massive issues. That is damage on Espinoza's car. Damage to the front of Espinoza's car, and they almost crashed Espinoza and Kaylee Zappa. So that puts Hazel Lacasse in the catbird seat. Now we see why Porter Kelly was pushing so much. This is the chance to get onto the podium. Christina Espinoza needs to come to pit lane. That is a massive front wing damage. But she has to stay out. She can't go in. This changes the complexity of this race. This race has fallen into the lap of Keisha Fox, knowing there's 1 more pit stop to go. So Christina Espinoza lost time here. We're going to try to go back to see what happened here. Try to see what happened here during this lap. It's apparently on lap 23. Was it coming out of pit lane? It was out of pit lane. She spun the... She misjudged. Wow. That is a blunder we've ever seen one. Misjudged the exit wall there out of pit lane. And as a result, Keisha Fox leads this race by 4.5 seconds over Hazel Lacasse. Lucien Lachapelle and Stephanie Porter Kelly have the 2 fastest laps in this race. A 151.7 for Lachapelle, a 151.8 for Porter Kelly. Porter Kelly, who now sits on the rostrum. Then it's Ray Taylor, David Wessel, Mildred Moon, Cuny Kenoshita, David Wessel in pit lane now. Take that back. Sakura Ishibashi now the fastest on the track. And that is Ishibashi trying so hard to get past people. This is now a battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And Porter Kelly is harassing the gearbox of Hazel Lacasse. Lacasse went from 4th to 2nd on that. Absolute madness. This race is not done yet. Lacasse, Porticelli, Zappa could end up winning this race. Keisha Fox now in a race-winning position. Side by side now. Lacasse has to defend from a two-time IndyCar World Champion. Steph Porticelli's accolades are a list and a half. And this 23-year-old rookie from Auckland, New Zealand. Lacasse is holding off Porticelli and Kelly Zappa. She is closing the gap, 4/10 down that lap to Keisha Fox. Lacasse wants a second Champ Car victory. If Porticelli if say Andrew Draco stays outside the top 10 here, because Andrew Draco is still 14th. If Andrew Draco finishes 14th, if Porticelli finishes where if Porticelli takes second from Lacasse, that is half the points lead gone. That is a very miserable turn of events for Andrew Draco. This will be the single worst points drop Andrew Draco suffered since leading the season, since he's taken the points lead over. He's been able to kind of manage it, keep it between 30 and 50 points, but that could all go away. Porticelli is trying so hard to get past Lacasse. Lacasse, a master defensive driver. There is a reason Asumi Matsuo wants Lacasse for the future. There's a reason Matsuo scouted Lacasse. And this is why, her ability to handle pressure. Gap between Lacasse is a diamond under pressure. The gap was 5.5 seconds. It's now under 4 3/4 of a second, and that gap continues to shrink. Lacasse is on a charge. Lacasse right now putting in a sensational drive, dealing with adversity, dealing with a setup that obviously is not planned to her because they needed to spend time adjusting it during a pit stop. But now she's got clean air. She's pulling away from a two-time IndyCar World Champion. Porticelli's been in the sport since 2002. This is her 17th season of competition between Formula One and Champ Car racing. The gap's down to 4.5. This is taking out 1/4 of a second a lap right now. Sakura Shibashi still the fastest car on track. Lacasse only 12th fastest on track, but masterfully defending. Andrew Draco's got to make the most of this here. He's got to get past Ronald Walker. And Draco almost touched the grass there. Once you touch the grass in Carousel, that is game over. Draco makes a mistake now going through the kink with Patrick Marcelli in pursuit. What's the gap this time across the line? Half a second shaved off that lap alone. Lacasse on a move. At this particular stage in time, Fox either's taking care of her tires or has already burnt through them. Knowing that there's about 10 laps to the next pit stop cycle. And everyone has to stop. Porter Kelly is back on the gearbox of Lacasse. Porter Kelly almost touched the gearbox of Lacasse right there out of turn 5. Up through turn 6. And now running around turn 7. Mildred Moon's in the screenshot as well. She could have a podium by the time this race is over. We don't know who's sitting where. Other than what is right now Keisha Fox within a reasonable shot of winning this race. But if Lacasse keeps shaving off a quarter or half a second a lap, then you honestly can't even say that anymore. But these are valuable points that Steffi Porter-Kelly needs, knowing that her championship rival, Andrew Draco, is trying to close in on Isabel Espinosa and knowing there's one more pit stop. Team Impulse had slower pit stops, but as a result, they had the fastest car on track in Ishibashi, and they have a second place run right now with Hazel Lacasse. So honestly, that pit stop looked like it was worth it. Team Impulse made that work. And now we're watching as Hazel Lacasse chops off another quarter of a second. It's down below 4 now. Lacasse at home in that car right now. This has got to be nerve-wracking. It's got to be interesting being in the 84 cockpit. Let's take it right along with Lacasse here. We'll go quiet for a lap. Let you all experience a lap of Road America. this is the first lap that Keisha Fox has pulled a little bit of time back from Lacasse. Lacasse shaved it off from 3.75 to 3.18. Now it's back to 3.24 between the two rookies as they try to get around. I think that's Christina Espinoza one more time. Yeah, it is. Meanwhile, Mildred Moon is here. Mildred Moon has arrived. She is now battling for the podium positions, and that is a squeeze by Kaylee Zappa. The Italian tried to squeeze Mildred Moon to no avail. Mildred Moon is through by turn 6. Now going through turn 7. Zappa tries to take another look, but 2 into 1 does not go. One of the most scenic tracks in North America, bar none. I think one of the most scenic in the one of the most beautiful in the world. Scenic. One of the most scenic in the world. But now Mildred Moon is going to challenge. Mildred Moon could easily challenge for the win here. I called podium, but I think I underestimated that. She is going to easily challenge for the race win. She is in the bubble now. She's in that top 4. Andrew Draco still 3 seconds off of Isabel Espinoza. He needs a bit of a miracle to try to close the gap anymore. Lacasse gonna have to wait until after turn 1 to get past the wounded Espinoza. Probably have to get her out of turn 3. So this will slow her up substantially. She gained a second, almost exact, on Keisha Fox. She's going to pull off to the left-hand side here. Now back in clean air. We know we have a pit stop coming in about 5 laps. And that's not what Stephanie Porticelli needed. Now she's exposed going into turn 7, side by side. That was close. But Porticelli maintains 3rd. Mildred Moon on the curbing, using all of it before the carousel. All of that curbing. That was bold. Mildred Moon wants her 3rd podium of the season. What a run by Moon. Think about the season that she's had. 2 podiums, then an injured Indianapolis set her out for several weeks. She comes back, not quite to the best results, but now here she is. She is by and far the lead of that own competition trio. And she's battling the head of Striking Motorsports nose to tail as they try to get past the winter car of Christina Espinoza. Top 5. It's an all-ladies top 5. 8 out of the top 10 are ladies. So it is ladies' night here in Road America. Mildred Moon now under attack. That is the inside line. It's not worked all race long. It's not going to work for Kelly Zappa there. So what's the gap between the two Alpine drivers? Well, there you're looking at it. 1.25 seconds. Keisha Fox hanging on for dear life. But Hazel Lacasse has checked out from Stephanie Porticelli. Target has been acquired. The Cass had a pretty easy going of it at Toronto, led almost from flag to flag. She's had to work for it today. And she is working super hard. That's under a second. That's under half a second. Keisha Fox for Cherokee GP trying to bring another good result home. It's been a rough season for the North Carolina team. Meanwhile, the team from Osaka has continued to reap the rewards. 2 of their 3 cars in the top 10. Lacasse trying to make it win number 2 for herself, win number 4 for the team. Here's the battle for the lead. Two future stars of Champ Car Racing. This is the first time I think they've properly squared off. So this will be a very interesting showdown. We talked about the age difference between Porter-Kelly and Draco, and then you looked at Lacasse, you looked at Keisha Fox. Youth is on display. The future is bright. What a run by both of these ladies. The gap doubled a little bit there. It's still less than a second. Lacasse at this point might be trying to figure out what pit stop cycle is going to look like here. She needs another stellar pit stop. Keisha Fox, the first pit stop, had a stellar stop. Gained 6 seconds on Christina Espinosa before her accident. Gained 6 seconds on that. So fantastic job from the Cherokee GP side of the garage. But for Impulse, it was not so hot. But you look at the pace they gained from doing those adjustments in pit lane, and it shows. And Keisha Fox, those rear tires are spent. Those rear tires are absolutely gone on the 62 car. And Lacasse is hounding. For those that are just joining in, we are on lap 38 of 50. Keisha Fox in the orange and blue. Lacasse in the pink and white. Lacasse, a race winner at Toronto. Keisha Fox, 2 podiums. Trying to join the winner's circle here. Be on the top step of the podium. But it is a very interesting showdown. Andrew Draco, the championship leader, started 5th, is outside the top 10, sitting in 12th position, 3 seconds down from Isabel Espinosa. It's going to take a lot for him to get outside. It's going to get him back into the top 10. So both of his championship rivals are ahead of him at this point. We talked about that at the beginning of the race. They needed to get ahead of him and put distance between them. That is what Porter-Kelly and Ishibashi have done. Porter-Kelly to a greater effect. But again, Ishibashi, the fastest car on track, just trying to work the traffic. Lap 39 now underway. 12 laps to go here in Road America. Through turns 3. Still Keisha Fox. But Lacasse has the rear tire. She has the ability to put the power down. There are 2 places where Lacasse can really kind of let it go. 3 places, really. And that's out of the kink in turn 11. Out of turn 14 to finish lap. And that's Lacasse sliding her rear tires out. That is a lot of power she just tried to put down through turn 5. So Lacasse is pushing it. It's not that Lacasse is just playing around. She is pushing the envelope here. You love to see it. 760 horsepower on display. And Lacasse tried to put all of them on the pavement right there. Neither of these drivers are aiming for championship at this point. It's all race wins for these two. That's kind of the beauty of the late season racing that we see here. You've got the drivers that are championship hunting, and you got everyone else trying to play a little bit of the spoiler. What a spoiler this is. Lacasse with an amazing exit out of turn 14. Looking at Lacasse, she's not aiming for a championship right now, but she will be a future champion. No doubt about it. And she is right on the gearbox of Keisha Fox once more. Pit lane is now open. That pit window has opened, and Lacasse might have just ran wide there. Lost it under braking there, turn 3. Opened up a little bit of the gap. That's not what you want, especially on an end lap. So now we've seen the traditional, the lead car suffering rear tires. The following car suffering front tire fade. And Lacasse sliding that car around. Lacasse is throwing this car around trying to get past Keisha Fox. What do you get when you have two drivers that are so skilled defensively? You get showdowns like these. Porter Kelly still holding on to third. Mildred Moon, it's a calmer battle for third on back. Moon, Porter Kelly, and Zappa having a war of the minds. They're not pushing the car. They know that they've got 10 laps after this. But the front two are pushing it. If this was a boxing match, this is a heavyweight championship bout. These two are throwing it all on the line. And it looks absolutely wonderful. Who comes in this lap? Keisha Fox comes in this lap. She will blink first, so Lacasse will take the lead for the first time, and so does the championship contending Stephanie Porter Kelly. Porter Kelly comes in. So now, this needs to be the end lap that Lacasse needs. Neri's in the pit lane as well, going one lap down temporarily. .23 cars still running. 19 on the lead lap now with Neri pitting. This is all Lacasse. This is her end lap right here. So we'll keep an eye on this one, and then we'll look back to see where Keisha Fox is at compared to Porter Kelly. Because they did pit together. Through turn 8. There's turn 9 and turns 10. The carousel's 2 turns. There's a bit of a straight between them. But with how the corner is shaped, you take both turns as if it's one. Out of turn 10. Through turn 11 and the kink. And then a blast through the forest. All the way down the Canada corner. You see the fans up on the hill. This will be that turn is an amazing spot to sightsee. See all the campgrounds here on the outside of turns 13 and 14. Lacasse stays out one more lap. Mildred Moon does not. Mildred Moon comes in. Lacasse making the most of it right now. She thinks she's better off. This will be a very interesting couple laps to see where the overlap comes in. Does the undercut work? It's been very iffy as if the undercut works or not. But Lacasse and Kelly Zappa have both stayed out. So now's the time to play. Andrew Draco still trying to defend from Patrick Marcelli. Draco's trying to hold off this pit stop as much as possible because he knows that damage could easily have blocked the air jack hose. Under the gearbox, there is an air jack plug. They will plug a hose in, and they will deploy the air jacks under the car. That damage, depending on where it's at, could have compromised that air jack. Could have easily compromised that air jack. So Draco is in a very rough spot right now. But he has to come in at some point. And that could be a catastrophic failure for Draco. In a race that he needed to be perfect. In a race where he knew that Porticelli was doing well, that Ishibashi was doing well, he needed to be perfect. And due to a lap 1 incident, he's not going to be able to do that. But looking at, there's Lacasse stepping it out on turn 13. That is a lively race car. She should be coming in this time. No, she stays out one more. Does Kelly Zappa blink? Kelly Zappa stays out as well. So 2 of the more aggressive drivers are sitting with one of the most aggressive strategies. Kurachenko's in. Draco has to come in. Neri stays out because he just pit. Marcelli stays out. So there are some on an aggressive strategy right now. Kenosha comes in. Cody Blackman stays out. Wessel stays out, but he's not in the battle right now. There's Keisha Fox. Fox. Then there's Kovalkiewicz. Not Kovalkiewicz, that's Lundqvist. Kovalkiewicz isn't in the car anymore. Mildred Moon? Did Kovalkiewicz have that good of a pit stop? Kovalkiewicz could end up being in the say here. Not Kovalkiewicz. I keep saying Kovalkiewicz. It's Lundqvist. Sergei Lundqvist is in the car, not Kovalkiewicz. Kovalkiewicz is at home in Katowice, resting up with her injuries. The thing about Kovalkiewicz, she won both Toronto races as a rookie just a couple years ago. But strategy here could help Siri Lundqvist out. Big question marks on the strategy here. Big strategy call here for Lacasse. Does she come in this time? No, she stays out one more. Very bold. Zappa can't match it. Zappa has to come in. That is rough. Rough going. So here's the downside for Draco. We're looking at where Draco's at right now. When it updates, he will not be 5th place. The downside is that Draco's losing points no matter what. He's losing points to Sakura Shibashi, and he's losing points especially, and more importantly, to Steffi Porticelli. He's also just been leapfrogged by Siri Lundqvist. Lundqvist went from outside the top 10 to possibly getting herself on the podium. So Lundqvist had an amazing pit stop at some point. Draco is down to 16th place. There's Lundqvist. She's in. So she just hadn't pit. In fact, we just saw her pit stop finish, so that helps Draco out a little bit. That gives him 1 spot. That moves him to 15th. But up here, it is a mess. Lacasse still going. Patrick Marcelli's still going. And that mid-pack is battling itself to death. She stays out again. Is she trying to stretch it 30 laps? What in the world? Marcelli's in. He has to blink. Does Cody Blackman come in? We know Cody Blackman still has to pit. Blackman comes in. Keisha Fox, this will hand Keisha Fox the win if Lacasse cannot make it the finish. Lacasse is going to be playing a very risky game. "35 seconds is the gap between Lacasse and Fox. Fox on the fresher tires. On her third set of Firestone tires. Lacasse still on her second. Mildred Moon trying to get... She right now is on the podium. Porter Kelly trying to get herself onto the podium. Trying to get as many points as she can from Draco here. And look at this mess. Kurichenko, Perth, Ishibashi, Leroux, Isabel Espinoza. Patrick Marcelli stays ahead of Andrew Draco. That is vital. Marcelli with a faster pit stop than Andrew Draco. That does not help his case. Cody Blackman does not. What a race. There's Lacasse in pit lane now. There's Keisha Fox out of the kink, headed towards Canada corner. Oh boy, this will be an interesting showdown. She went 25 laps, that's what Lacasse did. Can she maintain the lead, or is she going to have enough to really push those tires for the final 5? What are we going to see when we come across the crest of this hill? Fox at the line now. Lacasse exited pit lane. Right there she is. Here comes the battle. Fox takes it back. That one extra lap was the difference between holding the lead and losing it to second. But now it is game on. And lap traffic will play a factor. For those just tuning in, you're about to see the best 5 laps in Road America racing. This track is phenomenal. Sports cars are phenomenal here. Champ Car is about to put up another stellar finish. Keisha has to time these lap cars. Both Wessel and Espinoza will be in the way. She's going to get one of them headed towards Canada corner. She's got to. Mildred Moon, very threatening in the background here. If the front 2 messes up, Mildred Moon is in the fray. Fox gets past Espinoza. Lacasse must do the same. We are coming to 4 laps to go. Mildred Moon makes a very late move, trying to get around Christina Espinosa. But she does do so before turn 5. Keeping an eye on the cast. It's now, the podium's all here. Keisha Fox has to hold off Hazel Lacasse, who has been charging all race long. And Mildred Moon, who started in the last row, started 25th. Now is within earshot of getting her first race win. David Wessel is going to be a factor within the next 2 laps, so they've got to dispatch him before the white flag. Mildred Moon is looking super threatening. So this podium, we think we know the lineup, but we don't know where they're going to stand. Keisha Fox has a bit of a breakaway right now because of where they caught Christina Espinosa, but is she going to get that lucky with David Wessel? That is a very important question. And the cast can't focus on Keisha Fox. She's got to focus on Mildred Moon behind. See, there's Keisha Fox going through, then it's the cast, and Mildred Moon overshoots the braking for turn 3. It's a rookie podium right now. Up the hill, turn 6. Through turn 7. Draco's up to 13th. Trying to minimize that damage as much as he can. Sakura Shibashi only gains 3 points at most on Andrew Draco as it stands right now. Side by side. Whoa! Mildred Moon! Almost slid it all the way into the tire barriers at the kink. What a slide and what a save! Holy cow! Mildred Moon sent it. That was insanity, and she didn't lose time. Wessel comes in at the nick of time, saving Keisha Fox from having to deal with the overtake. Holy, that save by Mildred Moon. What a save. Wow. What a save. Mildred Moon making it look to the inside turn 3, and she clears Lacasse. Just a sweep to the inside and a save. Now Lacasse has to battle it back. Mildred Moon now has clean air. Can she make up 2 seconds, 2 laps? This will be a very interesting couple laps here. Lacasse looking to the inside, trying to get a better run out of turn 6. She's got to try to make something happen. For the first time in modern Champ Car history, we have had 0 cautions. And now Lacasse having to worry about losing time. She can't lose any more time here. Otherwise she'll lose the podium. Mildred Moon has opened that gap open. Does she have enough for one final lap? Can she put a magic lap in? That's a wide exit to turn 14. And Lacasse might lose the podium. White flag. 1 lap to go. Sponsored by PNC. Still side by side, Lacasse and Porticelli. Porticelli needs this podium to open the points gap wide open. This is the first time we'll have a caution-free race at Road America. Porticelli outside turn 5. She's got the run. That's the podium for Porticelli. There's the race leader. There's Mildred Moon starting 25th, moving up to 2nd. Porticelli has to defend the podium. We are not done yet. Lacasse under pursuit. That's side by side to the kink. Not the place you want to make that move, and it cost Kelly Zappa precious time. Lacasse used Zappa's overzealousness there and made her pay for it. Coming around the final corner. She's been on podium twice before, but she's not won yet, not until today. Keisha Fox brings it home and wins at Road America. Mildred Moon 2nd. Porticelli stays 3rd. And look at that side by side. They were side by side to the line, and Hazel Lacasse kept 4th place. Kelly Zappa 5th. Hazel Lacasse 4th. Ray Taylor in 6th. And an all-around great finish for Emblem Competition as Gerard Perth finishes 7th. Natalia Kurchenko 8th. Simona Leroux started last, finished 8th, finished 9th. Isabel Espinosa 10th. Then it was Sakura Shibashi 11th, just outside the top 10. Not what she needed to try to capitalize on Andrew Draco. Patrick Marcelli finishing 12th ahead of Andrew Draco, who was 13th. Kenosha was 14th. Lucian Lachapelle 15th. Cody Blackman 16th, Esther Hobson 17th, 18th is Siri Lundquist, 19th is Tyler Parker 20th, and last car on the lead lap is Brad Neri. 3 cars 1 lap down at least. It's Christina Espinoza. David Wessel 2 laps down after being upside down on lap 1, and then Ronald Walker with engine problems surviving to take 23rd. Both Black Rose cars, Nicole Lecting and Jace Clark, failed to finish, and then Cameron Jackson failed to start, so he will bring home 0 points for the first time in his career. But what a run for Keisha Fox, her first career win. Having to undertake challenges on the team from Alicia Kovalkiewicz and now Siri Lundquist. Keisha Fox showing that she is a part of Champ Car's future. And what a run from Mildred Moon. From 25th, almost dead last to 2nd. Fantastic display from Mildred Moon, making up for qualifying. And for the first time in several races, Andrew Draco does not finish in the top 10. As you watch all the drivers get ready to come in for Parc Fermé. amazing run from Hazel to Cass. Unfortunately, couldn't hold it together at the very end. We'll be interested to see why she stayed out so long and lost so much time. It looked like she was going to gain a significant amount of time, but she stayed out too long there and ended up losing the race lead while Keisha Fox was mired in traffic. So that was it. And that's going to be an interesting call that Team Impulse will have to explain after the race when they debrief on Monday. But what a race. That points gap has shrunk. That gap is now down to 32. Andrew Draco has to fight extremely hard in 2 weeks when we go to Indianapolis for the road course race. The only track on the calendar it's the only track that most of the drivers have never raced on, except for Stephanie Porter-Kelly. Porter-Kelly raced on it in F1. Different machinery, but she has layout familiarity. Andrew Draco has to learn it. So does Sakura Shibashi, who is almost all but out of the championship hunt at this point in time. It's down to 2. It's almost down to 2. Realistically down to 2. But what a showdown. Keisha Fox, your race winner at Road America. Great to be back with Mildred Moon and Stephanie Porter-Kelly rounding out the front, rounding out the podium. 2 weeks' time, Indianapolis. Then it's Fontana to end the season. We hope you guys enjoyed the absolutely fantastic racing we had today. And we hope you join us for the rest of the season as well. But for Horizon Corporation, for AT&T, and for the Champ Car World Series, it's so long from Wisconsin.